Okay, here's how not to do your transmission tunnel insulation. This is from DEI. It's a heat shield product. And I got a little carried away thinking about protecting this part of the chassis from the exhaust heat. And so I started wrapping this tunnel shield underneath. There's a couple pieces like this, aluminum heat shield pieces, and I thought it'd be clever to like wrap that underneath and tuck the edges behind those heat shields. And then I had some extra material when I was done, so I added more. So I had like up to 3 layers of that in here, right? And then I'm going to seal the seams, and I've heard that some people like to use RTV sealant, and I actually think that worked really well. I bought some of the tape, but this seems like it's going to hold up longer and it's more secure. It's not as pretty maybe right now, but who cares? So anyway, I'm going to seal the RTV, or I'm going to seal all these edges with RTV, and then I start sealing the bottom edges, and I go, oh wait, no, we might need to let some moisture drain out of that. And then I realized that what I've done is taken all of this fiberglass absorbent material. This is like a 1/4 inch layer of fiberglass on the back of this foil, and I've put it right up next to my body and on a horizontal surface, so that any water getting in here, it would just stay wet forever. And I was like, that is an absolutely terrible idea and could encourage moisture to be trapped against the body for a long time. So I had to start cutting this stuff out. And as I already mentioned, it was like 3 layers thick. It was a total hack job. It made me feel terrible about spending the time to do this. But I just had to do it. And I was lucky, I guess, feeling lucky enough that I caught it, better that than rust. Classic problem for me is trying to fix a problem I don't have, and creating a problem that wasn't there before, like overthinking things and overdoing things. So anyway, if I were to do this again, one, I would think about the shingling of this material. So starting lower and then putting on the upper pieces means that it will be shingled properly down. And then also starting in the back and working forward means that in the direction of like the airflow, it will be shingled properly. So I did everything opposite, right? I started with this piece and then worked backwards, and then I started up here and worked down. So all my edges are facing the wrong direction. The one thing that I did do that I liked was folded on the side that I didn't have to cut and hack up. Before I installed it, I crimped over about 3/4 of an inch of the foil, and that makes a pretty nice edge at the bottom. So I would do, if I were to do this again, I would do this piece in the back behind your shifter at the top. No, wait, you want to do the sides first. Sorry, do the sides first. So you can get one 42-inch piece of this is what you're looking at here. This was the best piece I did. It ends there. I think it's 42, maybe I even use shorter. Either way, it'll get you from the firewall to well back here if you use one long strip. So template that out, do this side, then template out the other side and run it. You'll have to decide if you want to run it all the way back to here, but I think the curvature is such that you could do that if you went. It would just relatively be one. It would not be a complex curve. It would just be only curving in one plane. So you run that all along the side here. So you've got your 2 sides done, and then you do your piece on top. So from the top of the firewall back to the shifter, overlap it over your 2 side pieces, and then you'll have one more piece to do back here behind the shifter. And if you do that, it'll be way cleaner than what I did. I did feel like I did a decent job like managing the material behind the firewall. because you've got that awful transmission blanket up there, that dusty, or like the thing, same material that was over the transmission, that dusty, horrible thing. And I took some, I crimped up a couple layers and then rolled it up to contain that blanket and press the blanket back, except for over here. There I applied some RTV sealant to try to keep the dust from pouring out of that. So I think the RTV works well. It's just an adhesive that has a lot of temperature resistant properties. But you can also use that tunnel shield, the DEI cool tape or whatever, which I find to be, I don't know, anyway, it's expensive tape. You can try it. This stuff isn't cheap either. It would probably take a couple tubes to do it, although I ended up using way more than I needed to because of all this butchery. So hopefully that'll help you do a better job than me, and maybe you're just smarter to begin with and didn't need any of this advice. So good luck.